Hey everybody, come on, take a trip with me to Guitar Center. I gotta clean up my little home studio because it's just driving me nuts. Between that and my cat constantly going meow, meow, meow at my leg. And I love him. You know, he's part of the family, but holy moly, I can't get anything done with that little cat. He just, you know, I like to take him outside to get some fresh air. And he's gotten a little addicted to the fresh air because actually, I think he's gotten addicted to a bush that is in my yard, because every day I take him out, I should say, he goes up to this bush and pretty much does his best to take sticks up his nose. It's really weird to see, and he'll just stand there on like that and just punch that bush with his nose. And then he gets mad at me when I try and take him away. He scratched my face the other day like an asshole when I went to take him inside. I think he's a little junky. But what is going on here? That is possibly the worst place for that. That's weird. So I want to talk about something today that I've been noticing more and more. And I'm sure you have it, but I'm sure you probably just think it's normal. And that's where the real problem arises. So why are cops so obsessed with getting IDs? Sure, they want to identify everybody. Okay, why? I think that's a question that needs to be asked. And what is being done with that database? Because from what I see, if they're trying to identify everybody they come in contact with, which they clearly are, they've said it multiple times, and if, you know, they will arrest people for not giving ID, even if those people aren't suspected of committing crimes, then there's clearly an ulterior motive to them demanding IDs from people. And I believe that they are setting up a database of people to more thoroughly track us. And as evidence for that, I will cite flock cameras, which are popping up more and more, being used by local police departments. Do you know what these things do? They read your license plates. Not only that, they can see you in your car. They say that they don't identify you personally, but they do. They do. And you know how many cops have been busted using those to stalk people? Benny Jordan, is that his name? I'm not sure. Ben Jordan on YouTube, I think that's his name. He did a whole series on flock cameras in which he actually hacked into them and showed how you could literally just follow somebody as they walked down the road without typing in a single password. He didn't have to do anything to get it. So what is happening? You know, unfortunately, the problem with people just thinking that's the status quo is it allows plans to be set up that essentially box you in, but with a glass box, so you can't really see the box being built. And then you got the bootlickers who will say, just comply, it's so much easier. Dude, nothing that's easy is worth doing. Well, that's not true. But nothing that's worth doing is easy. And I'm sorry. I'm not just going to comply with somebody because it makes their life easier, or because I'm told it makes my life easier. I think that's insane. That's absolutely insane. That is how every evil in the world has ever been justified. Just comply. Just comply. Stop causing problems. Stop being an agitator. Just comply. Aren't you sick of it? Aren't you sick of just being told to comply with everything? You know, they put you in a plateau for a few years and then they take away something else, but you're already so used to the plateau that you don't realize that you lost, you know, it's just the next thing in a never-ending pattern of loss of liberty. Think about the 80s and 90s. I was able to fly on airplanes with very little security check in the 90s. You know, my mom would walk me to the gate, she would hug me goodbye, and I'd get on the plane when I was like 10 years old. The dynamics of people really haven't changed that much, and despite how much they want you to believe it, the only thing making the world unsafe is the people that are claiming to have your best interests at heart. That's it. If anybody's making this world unsafe, it's the people that employ TSA. It's the people that send men with guns to deal with cats. You know, and I mean, just because somebody says that they're there to help you, that does not mean it's true. But I don't have any faith that people are ever going to be able to pull their heads out of their asses and see that. I don't. Because they're so invested. They're so invested in just wanting to be part of this control structure when they're not. All they are, it's like a kid saying, my dad can beat up your dad. Okay, what the fuck does it matter? What does that gain you? You know, I just think it's the epitome of intellectual and moral laziness to rest one's laurels on the law or on compliance to the status quo. I think that's repugnant. And I'm never going to stop speaking out against it. And my kids are not going to grow up to be that type. They already aren't, and it can be a little tough at times. But so what? So what's the end game here? You just going to keep going with the status quo while you waste today for a half a tank of gas tomorrow? Is that it? Are you just going to ignore all the shit that's being taken from you while they take more and you thank them for it? Come on, man. Get a little fucking courage. Yeah, I mean, the idea that America is the land of the free and the home of the brave is the silliest shit I've ever heard. There's not... I don't think I've met a single brave person here. No, not one. I've heard some people say brave things, but really, how many people, when it comes down to it, would put what's right above their own self-interest? I don't think many. And that's what bravery is. And that's what freedom is too, you know? I should be able to choose to put others' good before my own and not be told, hey, you need to do this because it's for the good of everybody. Well, is it really? Is paying taxes to bomb fucking kids halfway across the world, is that really for the greater good? Because I fucking fail to see the connection personally. So many fucking idiots that are in their 80s now, 70s and 80s, are just still controlling the fucking world, man. Still bombing people for no reason at all. And then they're so dumb They're so dumb that they believe the shit that they hear on TV. I mean, what the fuck happened to them? I'll tell you what happened to them. They spent 30 years watching Fox News and CNN, and I don't care if they watch Fox or CNN. Doesn't matter which one it is. The destruction of our society is contingent upon the duality of left versus right. If not for that, there would be no social destruction. We would have an actual society. Honestly, the only way forward for people that can actually think and actually see the trouble that we're in, the only way forward is to just walk away from all of this. Or I guess you can try and live parallel to it, but really we need enough people that the ones who choose to comply don't matter. And it doesn't take that large of a percentage of the population. It would take maybe like 10% to actually affect some change, because the 10%, oh man, turn your blinker off. The 10% is enough to intimidate the 90, because the 90% has no courage, man. They have no courage. I believe NPCs are real. I do. And the ones that are saying just go along with the status quo, they are NPCs. Okay, they cannot think for themselves. And I'm not saying that they were born soulless. I'm saying that they have outsourced their entire consciousness and conscience to the powers that be. And what are these powers? They are ugly, old, plastic, fucking fake-haired pieces of shit that get on television and mock other people. That's who my parents, your parents, have put their trust in. People like, I don't even know their names. That's good. Either way, man, it's really uncomfortable. You know, I had a trip the other day that was just absolutely profound. I noticed, I was looking at myself in the mirror. I usually don't like to. But I saw that my being wasn't necessarily a static thing, right? So you got your consciousness that projects your own self-perception, right? You have a perception of yourself that is independent of the photons that bounce off the mirror. And your perception greatly informs the largest part of what you see in the mirror. That's why you look different to other people than you look to yourself. Anyway, what am I getting at? People largely see you as you project yourself. So, if you see yourself as ugly, you're going to be seen as ugly. That's why a lot of people, who have, we'll call them untraditional characteristics, they don't look ugly. You know, some of them are even really attractive. It's because they don't consider themselves ugly. I mean, I'm struggling to think of an actor. Nick Cage. Nick Cage is a good example. He's a fucking weird looking dude. And if he carried himself differently and saw himself differently, you would see him far differently, wouldn't you? I don't know. I think why I'm saying that is we gotta stop letting other people dictate to us what we see the world as, what green looks like. There's no way forward with that. They're hell-bent on destruction of everything that you stand for, even if you don't think so. Even if you don't want to believe it, they want to destroy your way of life, because that's how you maintain power over a society. You destroy everything that they care about. And then, not only do you destroy it, but you give them a fair forgery of what it was. So, think about this. Movies back in the day. You got stuff like Star Wars that really... Star Wars is mostly responsible for my interest in the occult and all of that stuff. Had it not been for those movies and the music behind them too, I would probably never, I can't say what I would not have done, but they were very formative for me. And then those were destroyed, and in their place was put a fair forgery. There's no message in the new Star Wars. There's no message of hope. Same with the new Indiana Jones. All of the heroes that you've had have been destroyed, and mockery has been put in its place. Be your own hero. Stop letting these people show you who your heroes need to be. It's not going to do you any good. All it does is give them power over you, because then they can put that hero in front of you doing whatever they want it to, and you'll think that what that person is doing is heroic, even if it's not, because that person is your hero. It's just time to walk away. There've been a lot of good things, a lot of good times I've had, thanks to this modern life. But really, have I? I think I'd be happier in the woods. I think I'd be happier in a tent in the woods, or building a cabin in the middle of nowhere. This is tough. This shit. I don't want to have to go 70 miles an hour every day. Why the fuck do I need to rush somewhere? Why the fuck does every single person in the world need to do this infernal traffic bullshit? It's horrible. It's horrible. And half of these people just don't even think while they're driving. All they're doing, they're just nodes. Waking up sucks.